What's good, everybody? So I wanted to come here real quick to talk about a topic that has a lot of people out here shook, which is skyrocketing mortgage payments. Unfortunately, a lot of people's payments are going up crazy amounts, hundreds to thousands of dollars because of rising taxes and insurance. Things are changing from when people close versus a couple years later, and it's sending their payments to ridiculous amounts that they were not prepared for. But luckily, there are ways to avoid it. But before I get into it, I want to show you a quick clip of a guy that experienced something similar to what a lot of people are out here going through. And let's watch this real quick and then I'll get into it.
So tell me how I signed a document with all the documents signed, your payment in 1907, and you signed 1 million documents. Now, a year later, they hit me up in February talking about your payment is $34.50. I bet it ain't. I bet it's not. So the first year when you buy your home, your newly constructed home, they're only charging you for the taxes, the property taxes on the land, the raw land. Well, the land was only worth $60,000. Well, now that the house has been put on it and now there's a development around you, that now that land this year is worth $110,000, and they put a 400 and something, almost $500,000 house on top. So now your taxes are gonna go to correct. So now your mortgage is going to increase. Now, when they done tell you got a fixed rate, you got a fixed payment and all, they not explaining to you that the property taxes will increase that payment. My payment went up to $34.50. How? Because I can pack up the house and give it back to you. You can have it.
Wow. He's right. And I would hate to be in his shoes right now. But unfortunately, a lot of people are dealing with what he's going through. And these payments are going crazy because of taxes not being factored correctly. But one thing to kind of get around that is if you take the home price of whatever the builder is selling it to you for, and then you multiply that times the tax rate percentage, it'll give you the ballpark of where your taxes should be. So I'll just kind of run down some quick numbers that's kind of close to what I had. So the property was valued at around $300,000, and the tax rate is at 3%. So that's about $9,000 a year, which breaks down to $750 a month. But when I closed, and because it was a new build, they were only factoring in the land value, which was $65,000 at 3%, which broke down to $1,950 for the year at $162.50 a month. So if I would have just been paying at $162.50 a month, after 2 years when it did autocorrect for me, I would have been short $7,050 per year, which would have came up to $14,100. That's what it would auto adjust to get the back taxes that you didn't pay correctly. And then they're gonna factor in for the current year that you're in. So when the tax bill comes at the end of the year and you pay the beginning of the next year, they're still factoring in at $9,000. So your payment would increase $1,925. And that's what I would have been on the hook for had I not paid extra. And I can tell you from my loan disclosure, when I closed, my payment was $1,448 for principal and interest. And then for escrow that they were collecting for taxes and insurance was only $194, which brought my total on paper to $1,642, which was what technically on paper, that's what I was on the hook for. But right underneath it, it says estimated taxes, insurance, and assessment, $797.61. And then it'll say property taxes, that's accounting for some, homeowners insurance, yes, homeowners association dues, no. Because in my neighborhood, the HOA fees are paid one time a year, and that's not in my escrow. So if you don't put that difference in, you are going to be in trouble, in a world of trouble. And I would not wish that upon anybody, because that is a real struggle that I just don't see how people are dealing with it. So I was paying about $600 to $700 every month into my escrow, extra on top of what they wanted me to pay. And then after about the first year, so their system is kind of thinking like, wait a minute, like we're only supposed to collect $194. Why are you pumping in almost $800 a month into escrow when we only need $194? So one thing that happened is that they kicked out a refund, which you set up, they'll tell you to link a bank account. And I ended up getting a refund of like $5,000-$6,000 into my bank account. And then when I looked into it, I saw that the escrow had released those funds back into my bank account. So one thing that you have to remember is when they do that, you need to be putting that money right back into that account, because when everything auto corrects, that money needs to be there. So in my case, when everything did auto correct, I was only short like $100-$200. I just paid it, and my payment, because I was paying about $2,200-$2,300, my payment literally auto corrected to about $2,260, and my payment has been that for about the past almost 4 years, and it hasn't gone up. Now the other thing to kind of consider is your insurance. Now my insurance the first year was about $1,000, and that broke down to $80 something a month, and the following year they tried to go up to like $2,500. Now, if you are not somebody that like checks your mail, like I know I don't check my mail, but I understood that my insurance was going to change, and when I got that amount that they were going to go up to, I immediately started calling other insurance companies, and then I kind of that started to get draining, and then I just ended up with an insurance broker that has access to like several companies. They run the rates on your home, and they get you the numbers. And that's when I started switching my insurance, because if you don't catch that, that'll send your payment soaring hundreds of dollars as well. So I called my mortgage company. I told them, hey, do not pay out. And of course, you have to do this before your insurance is due. You want to make sure you have enough time to actually call and shop your rate. But you want to call the your mortgage company, let them know, hey, I am shopping my rate. Do not pay out to the insurance company that I have on file. So they'll put that note on your account. And this is what happened to me. They put the note on my account, and then I started calling around. I found a better rate. I wanted to accept it. I did accept it. And then I called the insurance company that was going up, and I told them that, hey, I'm canceling. Like at the end of my term, like cancel it out. I don't want it, because they were going up from $1,000 to $2,500. And these are things that the information is out there. You kind of just got to do your research. One thing that I did, I just searched a lot of people on YouTube, and I kind of started getting a lot of the information. I know now, I think people are trying to charge for this information where, and I think it's silly. And the only reason I say that is because I saw somebody with a video. I put a comment on explaining exactly what I said, and it was a pretty short comment. And the creator of that video deleted my comment. And I'm like, hey, to each his own. If that's their hustle, they want to sell the information, so be it. But the information is out there for free. I just don't feel like you should be paying to get this information when you can just Google. You can reach out to people that currently own homes to see what they went through. I know it is different from when you buy like a home that was there and there's not much development happening around it. But a lot of people are going into new construction, and these are the things that you will deal with if you are not on top of it. And yeah, so I'm just telling people, like, just do your research. Drop down in the comments. Let me know, like, if y'all payments have went crazy. Were you not aware that the payment would change for taxes? I know a lot of people put the blame on a real estate agent. And, I kind of have my views on that, where I feel like the realtor is the one that just, they're the ones to help you find the house. Now, I get it. Like, good realtors come with a network. They come with, the loan officers that they work with. They have the title companies already lined up, or the attorneys if you're in a different state. But, I just feel like purchasing a home is a huge investment. You got to do your research. I came in asking a lot of questions. This is like this is the biggest purchase of most people. This is the biggest purchase that most people will make in their lives. And you got to come in and just ask all the questions. Do not go to that closing table and just sign all of those documents that they have you sign, and you have questions about something, or you're unaware of something. That would be the time to ask the questions before you sign your name on that line, because once you sign it, it's set in stone. Like, the only way out is either to sell the home, foreclose on the home, or depending on the loan type that you have, you can try to rent it out. I just hope that this makes it a little more clear for people that you shouldn't be afraid of home ownership, because people that's making these videos and they're kind of scaring people out of it. These are the people that own rental properties. These are the people that want you to rent their homes. And then guess what? You pay their homes off, and then they could just not lease to you anymore. And then they can move back into their home and live mortgage free. And I would hope that people still have the hope and the dreams to get into a home of their own, and something that they can leave behind for family. Once, as long as everything is done the right way. I know people have their views on leaving homes that are expensive that people can't afford after they pass on, but I just feel like it's still worth the investment. You can leverage so much with your home. It's like a huge savings account. Like I rented for years, and I've had rent 1-bedroom apartments that were very close to what I'm paying for a whole house. And I live in a 2-story home with 4 bedrooms, game room, backyard, front. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would hope that people still have that aspiration and to thrive for that. And you shouldn't be out here. You should not be afraid of it. Just go into it, learn what you're supposed to learn, do the research, listen to people, and get the information. And yeah, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm willing to answer any questions. I'm not charging anything. I'll let anybody know what they need to know. And in another video, I'll kind of break down, things where I can show more of like my loan disclosure, homestead exemptions, and things like that, which, that would basically just help with the value of your property and taxes and all that type of stuff. I mean, that's a little lengthy, but I would hope that this is somewhat enlightening to people that, because I know these videos are circulating. I know these people are out here, and yeah, I know like a lot of people are going through it, and it's hard out here, but it's so avoidable. And I hope that this video educates somebody, even if it's one person that watches this and can kind of just learn from what I've gone through, and just making the right choices, because you do not want your payment to go up thousands of dollars and you are not prepared for it. And if you're somebody where your payment, you don't want to put that extra money into escrow, and just make sure you're prepared to pay that lump sum whenever it does autocorrect, and you're not on the hook for thousands of dollars a month. Because I'm telling you, like, I know y'all seen the videos. These people are out here, they're losing their homes behind this. And, I wouldn't want that for anybody, especially people that have children and can't navigate as easily. But yeah, so let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you have experienced your home price going up. Let me know if you are now afraid, or you feel inspired to possibly step into this real estate market, and just, let's connect. Let me know what y'all think. Appreciate it.